Hey there, you're listening to The Mighty Mommy with some quick and dirty tips for practical parenting. I was chatting with a good friend of mine recently who also happens to be a dad. His son is 5, just like my daughter. He asked me why his son seems to want to eat constantly. He told me that his son would eat and then an hour later say that he's hungry again. How can he be hungry? He just ate. After we talked a little bit about the situation, we decided it sounded like a helpful topic for the show. On a previous episode, I talked about kids who don't want to eat or who are fussy eaters. But what do you do when you feel like eating has become your child's favorite pastime? I've mentioned before that children can generally feel when they are hungry and will most likely communicate this to their parent. As children get older, there is the possibility of falling into the trap of boredom eating. I'm not saying that this is always the case, but it is something to look out for if you're noticing your kid frolicking around in the kitchen more than usual. As a parent, you need to determine if your child is actually hungry or just looking for something to do. The first thing you should do is note how long this has been going on. It is true that during growth spurt, a child's eating habits will change. Usually they'll eat and sleep more. If that's the case, the frequent eating will probably slow down after a few days. If this isn't the case and you notice it lasting for longer or you're simply concerned, you should call your pediatrician for a professional opinion. Though there most likely isn't a medical reason for this change in appetite, it's always good to ask, and it helps to keep your pediatrician informed as to what's going on with your child. So here you are with a hungry kid. He just ate an hour ago, and now he's hungry again. When your child is going through this, it's a good idea to keep healthy snacks on hand. Actually, it's always good to have healthy snacking options for your family. Keep cut-up vegetables and fruit on hand. Make sure that your children are reaching for something nutritious and not just eating empty calories. If your son claims he's hungry, but then requests a piece of candy or some ice cream, chances are he's not really that hungry after all. If he's actually experiencing hunger, an apple or a banana will probably sound pretty good to him. My daughter loves to tell me how she's absolutely starving and needs a lollipop right away. I let her know that if she's hungry, a lollipop isn't going to help. I guarantee that when I'm reaching into my super secret mommy-only chocolate stash, it isn't because my stomach is growling. It's okay to let your kids eat when they really are hungry, but help them make good food choices such as fruit, veggies, cheese sticks, or granola bars. Also, make sure to take upcoming meal times into consideration. If you're going to be eating dinner in 45 minutes, your child can probably stand to hold off on the snacking until dinner is ready. If you do feel like your child is snacking out of boredom, take some action. It's definitely not a good habit, and it should be stopped as quickly and as gently as possible. Your first step should be to find out why your child is bored. Children shouldn't be bored, but it does happen. Make sure your child has activities available that interest him. If you have your family on a regular schedule, that's generally easier to do. Whether it's playing a board game with you or a sibling or having some outdoor time when weather permits, make sure your child is engaging in something interesting during intervals throughout the day. If you notice him wandering around the kitchen looking dazed, or he comes to you saying, "I'm hungry," and you can see that he's just looking for something to do, suggest an activity. Why don't we draw or color some pictures before we have another snack? If you can engage him in an activity, he might completely forget about snacking. Finally, it's very important that you never chastise your child for their poor eating habits. Eating disorders often appear in children whose parents were overly critical of their eating habits. Simply saying, "Too many cookies will give you a tummy ache," is usually enough to stop a little cookie monster from shoving in that third cookie. There's never a good reason to tell a child that they are wrong or bad for being hungry. Most children know when they are really hungry, and they will find a way to let you know. Make sure you're listening, and you'll be able to figure it out. That's it for now. If you'd like to request a topic for the Mighty Mommy, you can email me directly at mommy@quickanddirtytips.com or leave a message by calling 206-202-2185. Get the Mighty Mommy's Quick and Dirty Tips for practical parenting and other great shows from the Quick and Dirty Tips Network streamed to your iPhone. Download Stitcher for free today at Stitcher.com. This is your friend, the Mighty Mommy, wishing you happy and fun parenting.